All right, welcome back. Yeah, so that was Aimee explaining what her first upper cervical chiropractic visit and adjustment looks like as she's seen this upper cervical chiropractor that does not do traditional style chiropractic or rack and crack 'em style chiropractic. They use that instrument that she showed, and so the technique is called Atlas Orthogonal, and she explains it a little further in the video. But that's the technique where they want to get the top bone in the neck to sit 90 degrees, which is orthogonal. So they're trying to correct those misalignments, whichever way they are, a to an ideal 90-degree angle to sit on top of uh, the head um, in that 90-degree um, angle or set. And they use the X, Y, and Z vectors, from algebra, geometry to help them with those corrections, to get to those corrections. Um, and yeah, that's what it's called. And like she said, they lay you down, and they use that little point. It's called a stylus point, and it's the actual click is not a click. That's actually a sound wave coming from the stylus, where they use sound wave acoustic vibration to move the bone. And it's pretty cool. Like, they have it on YouTube where you could see a fluoroscopy X-ray, which is a motion X-ray of them doing that. You using that instrument and showing the atlas actually move around that soft tissue as the stylus wave sound wave is what do you call it? Is done or clicked, whatever you want to call it. So that's how it's done, and yeah, you don't feel a thing besides the headrest that you rest your head on, and it's very effective. Uh, Especially I feel like with cases like hers, and Atlas Orthogonal is how I actually got into chiropractic. Shout outs to Advanced Wellness Chiropractic Center in Augusta, Georgia, Martinez, and that's where I did my job shadowing during undergrad, and I went in my junior and senior year and interned there, and that's how I got my first chiropractic experience and adjustment. I actually shadowed another chiropractor before that. They did the same technique, but that was only like a 1 day thing. But yeah, uh, shout outs to them as well. Dr. Thigpen, that was the first one. And then Advanced Chiropractic was the second office that I really got in the weeds of upper cervical chiropractic and got my first adjustments and x-rays and found out I had a scoliosis and everything. So shout outs to Dr. Brad Steinley and his mom and dad, Dr. Noel and Dr. Larry. It's a family practice and a great office, and that's where I started at. And I used to get sick like every year, at least twice a year with my asthma and allergies, right? But after going there, I wasn't sick for like 3 years straight, and until I started in chiropractic school. but yeah, that's where I drank the Kool Aid, if you want to call it that. But yeah, so yeah, AO, Atlas Orthogonal is a great cervical technique that you can look into and see if it's in your area. And yeah, this rosary bead here is I put a gua sha, a jade gua sha on, and this jade gua sha is like for soft tissue injuries to break up scar tissue with, and you kind of scrape the skin with around that soft tissue or ribs or whatever. And my chiropractor in Jacksonville, Florida, gave me this in 2017 when I had my personal injury case there, and I was under her care. She did Atlas Orthogonal as well, and she gave me this to use for at-home care, and I just kept it with me as a good luck charm kind of thing, and I use it from time to time as well. So yeah, shout out to Atlas Orthogonal and Dr. Nancy Short, Jack's Backs Chiropractic in Jacksonville, Florida. Shout outs. And yeah, that's Atlas Orthogonal technique. And yeah, so that was her explaining her first experience with that, and now we're gonna go into how she felt afterwards. All right.
Hello, my friends. I just got back from, not just got back, but a few hours ago, got back from the chiropractor, which is why I'm wearing this neck brace looking quite cute and awkward. But I had my first upper cervical chiropractor appointment. Well, my second one, but my first adjustment. And it definitely went different than I had really planned or what I thought. And I got extremely sick. So I know the lighting is terrible here. I just look terrible, but I could not get my light out. Like, I literally can't lift it up. So we're just going with this crappy lighting today. So after my first appointment, I felt not that different right after. Basically, my chiropractor said you might feel different after. He made it sound like I would feel different after, but I didn't feel that different. Like, I felt a little looser. He poked this spot on my neck that before was tender. It wasn't tender anymore. But after he did the first adjustment, it like really wasn't that much of a change. I just felt like a little looser. I felt maybe a little dizzy and lightheaded, but not like anything more than I'm used to. So I was like, okay, I guess that's it. That seems weird. It didn't do anything. And then I went in, laid down for about 10 minutes. If you lay down before you leave. And I went to pay, and the receptionist told me that she had this done. She was in a very bad car accident, and she had this done, and the first time she was super dizzy, could barely walk straight. She just got so sick after. And I was like, okay, I guess mine wasn't nearly as bad as hers. And so I guess maybe this isn't going to work for me if I'm not feeling different after this. But I left and I drove home, and I called my husband, I called my mom, and just kind of like updated them on things. And I was like, okay, well, this, I guess, like, it went good. There was a really bad, my scans didn't look good. So I was like, well, I guess it's going to do something. We'll see. And I was about halfway home, and I just started to get super dizzy. And the drive was about an hour away. It was about 45 minutes from my in-laws who were watching the kids. So an hour from my house, 45 minutes from the in-laws, and I was driving home, and about halfway home, I just started to get super dizzy. And I just got worse and worse as the closer I got to home. The longer the time went on, I started to get dizzier and dizzier, but not enough yet where, like, I still felt like I could drive home, but I started to just feel, like, sick. And like I was gonna throw up, and I was like, well, maybe I just like didn't eat enough. I need to eat more food, and I was just feeling like lightheaded and stuff. And then I got home, I got to my in-laws who were watching the kids, and I had my brother-in-law and sister-in-law were actually like had just got home, and so they were walking in right when I was, and so I stopped and talked to them, and I just like got up, walked out of the car to talk to them, and I like almost like fell over because I was just so dizzy, and I don't think I realized how dizzy I was until I actually stood up because I was sitting. So then I go inside and I just get dizzier and dizzier. And then I have this headache that started, and I still have that headache. I still feel very dizzy. Now it is 7, it's almost 8 p.m. And I got it done. My adjustment was done at about 12:30. So 12:30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's been about 7 hours now. And oh geez, that hurt. I don't know what I did. And the dizziness is better. It's not gone. I still feel very, very dizzy, but not nearly as much as I did maybe 2 or 3 hours after it happened was the worst of the dizziness. But my head is just pounding. Oh, it's pounding so much. My head hurts really bad. My neck is actually starting to hurt now. It's starting to get sore back there. And I just feel very fatigued, very tired. My whole body just feels tired. So that was my first chiropractor adjustment. And I feel terrible, but I think that's a good thing because it means that my body is trying to adjust to this new adjustment, I guess you would call it. My body's trying to adjust to where my spine is supposed to be instead of where it's been. And so it's struggling right now. My body's like, what? There's blood flow to my head? We've never had this before. So I'm feeling so sick. I'm nauseous. My head is just pounding. It's hard to keep my eyes open. I should probably go to sleep. My neck is starting to hurt. My body hurts. Everything hurts. It's a super crappy video, but here we are. So anyway, I guess I'll let you know how the rest of it goes.